These are 15 lessons I learned from the book The Psychology of Money that changed my financial life, and hopefully it's gonna change yours. Without further ado, let's dive in. One lesson I learned from Psychology of Money is that no one is crazy. Okay, our experience with money is so different and makes up 0.000001% of what happens in the real world, and this tells us that we should not really be concerned about how people spend and earn their money, because of various persons have various attitude towards money. So for instance, someone that invested in Bitcoin in 2022 has a different ideology of money than someone that invested in Bitcoin in 2019. The person that invested in Bitcoin in 2019 had that feeling that Bitcoin knows how to pump, whereby the person that invested in Bitcoin in 2022 has the feeling that Bitcoin knows how to dip. So we should not be fast in judging how people spend their money or how people view money. The next lesson I learned from Psychology of Money is that luck is important. Okay, success is a combination of luck, hard work, and also a touch of unfair advantage. So for instance, Bill Gates went to one of the high schools that had a personal computer. So Bill Gates was hardworking, but the fact that he went to that high school, it helped him to build Microsoft Word rather. If he had not gone to that high school, the chance of him building Microsoft Word would have been very, very small. So we should not learn to we should not really think about how people got money. We should learn to build our pattern of thinking on a broader scale. We should not be thinking of how Elon Musk got rich. We should think on how and where they got lucky at some point. There is a mantra Morgan Housel uses to judge people. He used to say that success sometimes is not a result of hard work, and failure is not as a result of laziness most of the time. So the next lesson I learned from the Psychology of Money is that no went is enough. It is funny that, humanly speaking, we know how to shift our goalposts. Once we achieve that goalpost, we know how to extend it. For instance, if I say success is getting 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, once I'm attaining that 100,000 subscribers, I try to shift my goalpost to 1,000,000 subscribers. It can be financially and lots more. Some persons can say, I want to get $1,000 every month. Once they get $1,000, they start shifting their goalposts. So Morgan Housel is trying to advise us that we should know when to say it is enough. There are lots of persons, billionaires, that have done some greedy stuff and they got in prison. He shared some ideas in a book about Penny Manoff that was obviously rich, and all of a sudden he built a Ponzi scheme which landed him in prison. So you should know how to say, you should know when to say it is enough. The next information I got from the Psychology of Money is the magic of compounding. It's funny that as at the time of writing this book, the net worth of Warren Buffett was 84.5 billion naira, and he made 1.5 billion naira of that net worth after his 60th birthday. So this guy has been consistently investing in the stock market. Now, he's not a guru in investing per se, because he does not really choose the best stock. What he does is that he keeps on investing. So he started investing at the age of 10, and down the line, at the age of 30, was declared a millionaire, and down the line 50, he got about 5 from something million, and the rest of. There's a quote that describes Warren Buffett, and Morgan Housel say this: none of the 2,000 books picking apart Buffett's success are titled "This guy has been investing consistently for 3/4 of a century." But we know that that's the key to majority of his success. You just have to wrap your head around that math, because it's not intuitive. The next lesson I learned from the Psychology of Money is saving for no specific reason. Okay, Morgan advises us that we should save up our stockpile for about 6 months of expenses. In my previous video, I said something about bad money habits, keeping people poor, people not investing in their stockpile, not saving up money. Morgan advises us that we should save up to things that we cannot even see, like we should save up for the unforeseen circumstances. For instance, if you are working today, you can get sacked, so you should learn to save your money. The most important part of every plan is planning on the plan, not working according to plan. That's his words, not mine. So we should learn to save money for just saving sake. So the lesson I learned from Psychology of Money is focus on not screwing up. Okay, while investing, you should focus on not screwing up, on rather than making big gains rather. Let's take two investors for instance. Let's take Sue as an investor and Jim as an investor. For Sue, she's very interested in putting $1 every month in the stock market without really focusing on if she's getting profit. She just keeps on putting $1, whereby Jim tries to play the stock market by putting in money when he wants to appreciate and taking back his money or selling off his stock when it wants to depreciate or when the stock wants to go down. So at the end of the day, you will discover that Sue's portfolio will be something like this, whereby Jim's portfolio will be something like this. The reason for this is that Sue was not interested in getting big gains. She was just interested in just keeping on with the she was being consistent when it comes to trading, and it got a result over time. So the next lesson I learned from psychology of money is using money to buy freedom. So one of the greatest dividend money pays is your time, it's your freedom. Billionaires are advising people to retire on time so that they can get their freedom, where they can spend time with their family members, they can spend time with their friends and do things that they love. So money is what gives you that freedom. If you get lots of money, you can spend your vacation any place that you want because of you already have your freedom. The next lesson I'll be telling you about is be wealthy, not flashing. Okay, so spending money to show people how rich you are is one of the ways to get less money, or to get broke, or to get poor, any way you want to put it. So there are lots of tons of persons that are interested in their social reputation, and they try to spend money so that people will hail them. People will say, wow, we love the car you are driving, we love the house. But the interesting thing is that people don't really notice your car, people don't really notice they don't really notice you driving the car, they don't really notice you being in the house. They notice the car, so they are like, I wish I'm in this car. They don't really notice the person driving the car. So we should learn not to be flashy with our spending. We should just learn to be worthy and not to be flashy. The next lesson from psychology of money is leaving room for errors. So in planning on your finance, we should leave room for errors. So in case you are banking on your portfolio going up by 7%, and we should leave room for our expectation not reaching up to that point. For instance, we can get 3% or even negative percent. So the reason for this is that it increases your physical survival and also your emotional survival. In case you are disappointed, you don't really get to be emotionally down. So this is not a pessimist way of thinking. It's more like you try not to think of or you try not to be too expectant and don't get what you desire. So I don't advise people to be too expectant on this stock return will give me 10% in a month's time. No, don't be that. Just try to see it. Maybe if you get 2%, you can still live on that to help your emotional being. Okay, the next idea I got from psychology of money is that you will change. For instance, if you are saying you don't want to get kids, so because of you don't want to get kids, you would not invest in tuition for your children, and all of a sudden you don't do that, you don't save up, and in the next 10 years or a decade you then want to get kids. Now you did not save from the beginning. The thing is that our plans change over time. That's what Morgan explained in his book. So we tend to change our plans over time. Do not use today's circumstances to predict the future, to say, okay, because of today's circumstances I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. So we should know that our plan changes. The next thing is that nothing is free. Now everything has a price tag, but not all prices appear on label. The key to lots of things, the key to getting lots of money is to figure out the price of getting it and be willing to pay them. The truth is that most persons are willing to pay the price, or are not willing to pay the price in good investing return, because the price of investing success is not immediately obvious. So just find the price and be willing to pay it, then you are going to make more cash. The next lesson I got from psychology of money is different people play different game. You should be aware of the game you are playing as an investor or as someone wanting to make money, because different people play different game. If you are a day trader who happens to get your return on investment daily, the game you are playing is very different from someone that is looking at investing for a decade or a long run for years. So you should not take advice from such person. The person will just tell you, put your money to the market, once it's booming up, take your money back. No, you should not take advice from that person, because the person is playing a different game than you are. The next lesson is less ego, more wealth. So we should stop the instant gratification of getting things to increase our social status and focus on investing the money we get. This is you living below your means. If you get $1,000, don't be wanting to get an iPhone of like the latest iPhone if you don't really need it. So try to invest your money back. It's one good money habit that even Morgan Housel pointed in his book, and also there are lots of authors like Robert Kiyosaki have been pointing it out. Do what to invest your money. That's you paying yourself first when you get any money. The next lesson I got from psychology of money is that being able to sleep at night. If there's anything you are doing and you're not able to sleep at night that causes you your peace, then it's not worth doing. If you are doing this in investment and it's not worth it, in the sense that you cannot be able to sleep at night. And I advise you to just stop doing that investment, because your mental health is very, very important. So I would that Morgan Housel advice, let me not say our advice, Morgan Housel advice that you should always look at something that will help you sleep at night. Like, that's one thing I got. The next information I got from Psychology of Money is that knowing what works for you. Everyone have a separate goal, and knowing what works for you is a great financial advice rather than using someone else's strategy. I love how Morgan Housel in the last chapter of this book, he was telling us how he got rich, but or how he is investing his money, but he never wanted to advise or recommend such pattern. He was saying that's what worked for him, but we should do well to find out what works for us also. So these are the 15 lessons I got from the Psychology of Money that changed my financial life, and I am hopeful it changed yours also. You can get the book in the description of this video. I'll be dropping a link for you to get the book. Do well to subscribe to this YouTube channel as we keep bringing you ways to go about making cool cash online. I've done some articles on bad money habits keeping you poor and some other information. Do well to subscribe so that you can get more information on finance. So see you in our next video.